Hello, folks. Well, it's been a while since I've done a video where I've shown my archaeology comparisons, so it's technically a lot of new stuff, but one of the main things is the Gobekli Tepe, the Pillar 43 here. This is like the most famous stela at Gobekli, the oldest temple in the world other than Brunikel. And so this is both a face. I think this is a nose and a mouth and a beard here and a mustache and the eye. And this is kind of like a Eye of Horus type of deal, maybe. Like North American indigenous people painted like their gods with similar type of shapes on their eyes or under their eyes. So anyway, this is in Kurdistan, claimed by Turkey, just on the Syrian border. And so yeah, the Turks are not trying to excavate it. They won't even excavate this whole stone. It's been here, they've excavated part of it like 20 years ago. They won't excavate the rest of it. So we can't even see the whole stela. But anyway, I finally realized like this bird here, this crane or whatnot, its legs. I mean, I think I was always kind of curious, but I was thrown off by details. Like I always kind of wondered if by chance this could be Florida. Because behind this bird, it's almost like, it's part of something, it's an extension of something, the way you have this type of design behind it, whereas in front of it is all just blank. So it's almost like it's part of the coastline. And so then this would be a good, decent Florida. But I was thrown off by the fact that the islands are all retrograde on this map. So they're all flipped backwards because like this one, is Hispaniola. Hispaniola actually faces that way, or, it's flipped the other way. So they flip every island. This is a common practice in ancient maps, but this might be the first one where I've noticed that they flip every island and then leave almost all the mainland prograde. So yeah, it's about 12,000 years old. Almost three times the age of the Great Pyramid. So yeah, and then this is Cuba, is this guy here. Has a little weird beak that like dips up at the end there. Like that's like this little beak there. And so yeah, this bird, basically its beak is Delmarva Peninsula, which is just a composite of Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, because they each, they all three share this peninsula. And yeah, the back of its head is like Western Pennsylvania here, where my people are from. And then, it has this part that pokes forward, so that's North Carolina there. And then it has the long legs that are, both legs shown together because it's, relatively wide. And yeah, and then Appalachia is basically, it's the back of it, the back of the head, back of the neck, back of the back of the butt, whatever. It's all Appalachia. That's what this is. Land of my people. And so I think the shape, there's multiple things, like in a lot of these ancient type of maps, they can show a bunch of things in the same thing. So I think this both shows that and these islands, but it also seems to show this face. So I think the face is actually kind of different, because the face, like the eyebrow, is kind of like the furrowed eyebrows above the nose here, and this is the eyebrow or brow ridge or something in the eye right here. And then this is the nose. I think that this is like the tip of the nose here. And then there's actually, if I showed more on this, I don't show it on this comparison, but there's a river that goes from here and goes up like that. So I think that's actually the beard. So it's kind of showing those two things that are configured differently, because to the extent that the bird is just Appalachia and these coastlines, then its butt basically has to go all the way down to the coast here. But to the extent the butt is the nose of the face, I think it's a different configuration. Also, I suspect that these indents also are significant, and the reason that Cuba was put exactly where it is and Hispaniola was put exactly where it is also ties into that I suspect this indent here represents suspect that represents the Gulf of St. Lawrence, I think, or maybe, I'm not sure. I gotta pan out more and see more of it. But like, for instance, between the area between Cuba and the mainland here, I think is configured that way to also show the shape of Chesapeake Bay here, where it's like wide at the bottom, moves around, and then there's this kind of longer part here, which would be like right here, skinnier part, and then this, maybe this part would be the Delaware Bay, and this part would be the Long Island Sound, and then this would be the St. Lawrence Estuary. And this part here could even be the kind of part in here, kind of indented part here. So yeah, I think that this is something they did in ancient maps, where they could use one picture to show like 10 different things. Chances are it also has celestial implications. These all could represent planets or stars or whatnot. So yeah, glad I finally figured this thing out. You know, this is the old Red Hand of Ulster myth, where the guy is there. People are racing, and whoever from Scotland to Antrim, and whoever touches Antrim first becomes like Lord of Ireland. And so one of them cuts off his hand, throws it across, and it leaves a bloody hand mark, which is the Red Hand of Ulster. So I think this is the Red Hand of Ulster here in the Antrim Hills and Glens. And then this is the denuded arm, wrist. It still has blood on the tip of it. So yeah, I had to order the original poster online to get like a really good image. Ordered it from Antrim in Ulster. It's where my paternal ancestors are from. Scotland by way of Antrim. So yeah. And it could even be like that this represents his head, and that this Isla and Jura represent the other arm, and yeah, I suspect this is the head. I'm not sure if this is Finn McCool or another giant, but I think all the giants were part of the Fionn. So let's see. This is from the Gobekli Pillar 43 again, the scorpion that's thought to represent the constellation Scorpio, which it may well do, but it also seems to represent Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Actually, I think I labeled this thing wrong. I don't think these are the Virgin Islands. I think Virgin Islands are just here, and then these are called the Leeward Islands or some shit. I don't know. So yeah, I fucked up that part. But I think so in one iteration, I think it's in two iterations, its body is Puerto Rico, but in one iteration, its tail is just the Virgin Islands here. And in another iteration, I think its tail is all these Leeward Islands or whatever they're called. And then the stinger is either this one little bright island there that's shaped like a stinger, or it's Trinidad in the bigger avatar, which is also shaped like a stinger. And it's about to like cut off the head of this guy, because I think that's like central to the whole story of this stone, is the beheading of this dude. And then there's another depiction of him without a head. So, but I also think that in another iteration, because this is how ancient mythology works, where you'll have a certain character and then everything that's shaped at all like that character in the whole region will be an iteration of that character. This is how the Aborigines do it. This is how Amerindians do it, etc. That's how it works. So this Tintipan Island in Colombia, I think, is another iteration of the smaller iteration of the scorpion. And let's see, this is like a Mayan artifact that seems to show, Kodiak Island. And like when within a larger avatar showing Alaska as like an elephant god K. But so yeah, this is like the elephants. He's like inside it. So the whole elephant is like all of Alaska, right? The peninsula, Alaskan peninsula there and everything. And then this guy is technically right there, but he's shown inside of it because he's kind of seen as protected by it, or either way he's associated with it because he's right next to it. And being right in front of the mouth, you could say that he either is just coming out of the mouth, as the Egyptians seem to say. They called him like the sad voice, or maybe he's about to get eaten, and so either way he could end up inside there. And so yeah, it's very specific. It shows the shoulder here, and then these three sections of the Trinity Islands. And then it has his hair that he's known for in the Mayan tradition, like his brownish hair. And then, or elsewhere, it's described as brownish. It's, it's pretty green, but the Mayans called it brown. And then these parts, I think, are the adjacent parts of Alaska, which are like, I guess these two parts would be this and this, I'm guessing, and then this bigger part would be this bigger kind of peninsula coming down. So it's all just to help you sail around there and like not die and whatever. So yeah, these show more like the whole thing, whole kit and caboodle. This is a 13,000-year-old map of the Mediterranean and the Black Sea from the Amazon, where it's up to 13,000 years old. The site has the cave, or the rock painting site has been dated to 13,000 years old. So yeah, you can see like the it's very good for like the lower Mediterranean. You know, you have this part, it goes like down and then up and then down. So it's like here it goes down, down, up. So it's really great for this shape right here. Forget what this is, like Libya, Benghazi or something. And then it has, and it really focuses on the Azov Sea of the Black Sea, and then even focuses on the river that comes out of there. There's like, I don't know if that's the Donbass, the Don River, or what it is, but some kind of river that has that kind of a shape. It's not quite clear what it does with, I'm guessing that it includes Sicily as part of Italy, and it might even include Greece as part of Italy. Like it might just kind of ignore this sea and this sea. I might even include these guys. It's not great for this part. I mean, it seems like whoever was made this was mostly sailing along the southern part of it until they got to the Black Sea. So that's pretty good. I think that's what that is. This again, you know, you can see the part that's the stinger there. Forget what it's called, but yeah. And like the body of it, I think includes all these sea mounts around it. Like, see all these lines? Those are all its legs. Those are all the sea mounts. And there's like a bunch of weird shit on the other side too. Yeah, this kind of shows the sea mounts better. There's like all kinds of sea mounts around there. And I think this pointy part right here is represented by this, or represents this pointy island or reef or whatever it is. There's that face about to get beheaded by the scorpion. That's in like Venezuela. This is from the Gobekli Tepe Pillar 43. This is on the back or the front of it. It's not on the main stela. It's on like the, you know, the kind of the face of the pillar or the back of the head of the pillar. Of there's, you know, to the extent they're seen as anthropomorphs, but it's like a doggo. This is Siberia. So this is the part of Asia closest to America. This is right next to that. This is the cat. Siberia. It's this guy again. All right, let me see what else we got here. Somebody laughed at my joke. That's always good. I hate to be the only person that laughs at my jokes. Go away, people. I'm trying to do a video. All right. Oh yeah, this is the little gingerbread man that's like on the head of this guy. Like, it's like a conjoined twin, you know, dyslexia or whatever. So that's like the part that's on there on Kodiak Island. And, you know, it's like right here. It's like growing on his neck. And it's right there. So that's cute. Here's, here is an avatar of the goddess, or a depiction of the goddess Amentet Neferet, the beautiful West. So you can see her hair, like she's basically America. The Egyptian depiction of America, and her hair is white because her hair is snow and ice and whatever, glaciers and stuff. You can see her face there, and I think like you can see like this feather is probably this part right here. And this bird is probably this part right here, which under the ice kind of does have a beak and a tail and stuff like that. So she's hot, you know. Wood. This is Maui, who's like an anthropomorphic god, the island of Maui, and has this famous hook that he uses to hook the sun. That's like right in front of him. There's New Zealand. Let's see. I was New Zealand for Halloween. Yeah, this shows Amontet and Osiris. So her face seems to actually be faced the other way, and I'm not sure about her body, but what else we got? It might cut me off soon. My phone might be too full. This is showing the Cuba avatar and the Gobekli stela and showing its beak. Like in this, its beak is closed, but in reality it's open. But it does like curve way up at the end more than an actual beak would. This is like a 15,000-year-old French spindle whorl. So it's like something they use to, weave stuff. And I think it's showing Madagascar here. And it even seems to show kind of the distance between Madagascar and like Mozambique or whatever this is down here. Stuff like that. And, it even seems to show these like this kind of coloration and texture and whatnot on the face with these weird lines and stuff. So that's nice. This is a Taino, like I think from Puerto Rico artifact that might be a depiction. See, I think the vulture if it is a vulture on the vulture stone of Gobekli Tepe, Pillar 43, seems to be New Orleans, which is shaped like this and is the only major like feature of the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of Mexico coast. Otherwise, it's relatively flat coastlines. So I think it was like an avatar of all of North America because its body is so huge. Its stomach seems to be like Honduras and Nicaragua. Its feet seem to include Panama. And these are possible connections to Taino artifacts. This is Puerto Rico, I believe. This is Baffin Island. Again, Taino. So yeah, here we have the Gulf of Mexico. So the arm of the bird is the Yucatan, at least the end of the wing here is the Yucatan. The head is New Orleans. The shoulder is like the border between US and Mexico. And the sun, head, soul thing is Scorpion Reef here. So yeah, that's the only thing I enlarged, obviously, and that they enlarged. Sometimes I tweak the color just to make it a little more visible. This is a Mayan artifact that might also show Delmarva Peninsula and North Carolina there as like this guy's face, and then he has this bird on top of it. Hard to know. It's another possible connection with the Taino. And there's a fascist in the local community. So yeah, these are like the three animals at the top are like Newfoundland, Baffin, and Victoria. And then the big bird at the bottom is just Panama here. Not super visible here. It's just Jed Pillar and Toth and Horace in Mexico, Mixtec. So yeah, here's like the bird at the bottom. It's basically like Panama, part of Panama, southern Panama. And then the dog and the snake are like Central America as well, but flipped retrograde. Oh yeah, so this shows like the real shape, like people call it like a handbag shape. And it's not so much like a handbag on here because it's like, if so, it would be lopsided. But here it actually looks more like a handbag because this is where Quebec is, and it's guarded by Newfoundland. And then the other two, I think, are just extrapolated out as being somewhat similarly shaped to Quebec, so they're shown the same form. Basically, the parts of northern Canada and Alaska. And so yeah, over here you can see basically all the things, you